Welcome to the Jeezy Reader. Today, our special guest of Shrapnel and Avalanches, Thomas Emry. Yay! Hi, welcome to the Jeezy Reader. I'm your host, Jeezy of Nazarene, and today we're interviewing indie author Thomas Emry, who wrote the amazing Shrapnel and Avalanches. Welcome, Thomas.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are things in your neck of the woods?
They're great. They are great.
We're going to address first and foremost that some folks might notice something a little different about me today. And we're going to go ahead and take it off because it's going to end up slipping off. But do you like this tiara, Thomas?
I like it. It looks great on you.
Yeah,
It really does.
I had mentioned in a previous episode that I would rather wear a tiara than a thorn of crowns ever again. And then the next day, a tiara showed up in my mailbox. So I think I might be sponsored. I don't know.
It's a lot more inclusive than warm.
There we go. Got that off. It looks like it has diamonds in it, but I think they're plastic.
If you kept it on, you might look like that guy from Star Trek by the end.
Possibly, yes. I don't know which guy you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or what a Star Trek is.
You should watch it. There's a couple episodes. You might be able to fill some time.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Let's address another issue that I was unaware of. You're a ginger.
I am. I'm sorry. I went black and white with the author photo to try to sneak it past people, but here we are. It's out in the open now.
The cat is out of the bag.
It is. It
And
is.
have you been a ginger your entire life?
I have. I
Wow.
have. The beard's starting to grow a little bit gray, so if I play my cards right, it'll just be nice and gray soon.
Yeah, and you won't have to deal with the taunts and the bullying anymore.
I'm sure that will stop immediately. Yes.
Yes, that's the good part about going gray. So let's talk a little
How
bit
do
about.
you touch that up, or is that you just don't go gray? Nah, no, don't worry about it. Never mind.
Yeah, that's just rude.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't expect anything less from a dirty ginger, though.
That's fair.
So let's talk about a little bit about. I know that you live in Ohio.
I do.
Yes.
Ohio's been in the news quite a bit this week.
Right, which brings up the other question. You have a dog.
I do. He is, as far as 10 minutes ago, he's accounted for.
Okay. Are you afraid that a peckish immigrant will show up at any moment, though?
No, but it is something I didn't know I had to look out for.
Look at us being topical.
Right?
Yes, that's not something I typically do on this show. But it seems timely since, you have a dog and you live in Ohio. Now, how far are you from Springfield?
Well, there's like 3 or 4 Springfields. So
what?
Yeah, it's something. So I am Northwest Ohio area. So I'm okay.
Okay, good. So tell me a little bit about your dog, because I love dogs. How is Bowser?
Bowser, he is a pug beagle mix, or a puggle, if you want to be trendy and call it the hybrid name.
Sure, that's what everybody does now.
Yeah.
You have a puggle.
Yes. He's 14 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah. He's doing well.
Yeah, you kind of got him right before the puggle thing really took off then, because surely it can't be 14 years that puggles have...
No, I'm pretty sure I was the trendsetter for that. Basically.
Yeah. People were like,
this guy's got one.
Yeah,
so
Thomas Emry has one. Everybody should get one. And the next thing, Bradley Cooper went and copied off of you. And yeah.
Does he have one?
He did. It's probably dead now. Sad.
It is sad.
So were you
That's not the
born?
only thing he copied off of me about either. So we can get into that
Obviously,
off camera.
yeah, obviously not the good looks.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I can only do so much with the
With what
gingerness, you know.
yeah, with what I gave you. I really should apologize. That
Yeah,
was
this whole
not
thing's your fault. What am I apologizing for?
exactly. I mean, look, things were dark in the lab, and I thought we were doing light brown, and it got away from me.
Nah, I get it.
But
I get it.
yes, but it makes you sort of in a small percentage of the population should
Unique.
yeah unique and maybe you should go and find like to Ireland or somewhere over there where Scotland and where where the gingers are strong.
I
Not
should, but then I'm afraid I'd lose my family
oh
because
yeah.
yeah,
Do you have any children?
I do. I have two boys. Only one of them is ginger. The other one's blonde.
Okay. The other one's blonde.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are just getting the genes, the colorful genes, not this that basic brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so were you born and raised in Ohio, or did you move there? Are you in witness protection? Is this video a bad idea?
Dude. No, I didn't give my exact location, so we're okay.
Okay, good.
But I was born and raised here. I don't think anybody really moves to Ohio on purpose, but I do enjoy the area, believe it or not.
I want to figure out where you are. Are you close to West Virginia?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can go around the perimeter of the state if you want, and
That's where I mean
just ask. Yeah.
I didn't even know Ohio was a state.
We sneaked in, snuck
Yeah.
in.
Don't know
Yeah.
how that happened. What was young? What kind of things did a young, way back before you became the wizened, decrepit creature you are now?
uh,
What did young Thomas Emry do for entertainment and when he wasn't being bullied for being a ginger in school?
when I wasn't being bullied, I enjoyed video games and comic books because nobody can bully that, right? Um, then that was a lot of it. Movies, TV, comic
Did,
books.
did you read superhero comics, or were you like into like the horror comics, or were you into whatever old people
I've grown. When
like?
I was little, it was the X-Men, Spider-Man, things
Oh,
like that.
good. Not that
Yep.
wimpy sissy stuff like DuckTales.
I do like DuckTales too, though.
That is a
I'm
catchy
just
theme
I'm just
song from
digging
the
a hole.
cartoon.
I'm just digging a hole.
Oh. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of books you read. I want to see what are your influences? Did you read all kinds of let me see if I can guess. You don't strike me as well, maybe some sci-fi. You did drop that Star Trek reference earlier.
I did. I like sci-fi. I like horror, thriller, fantasy. I like a little bit of everything.
Okay, of those genres, which would be your
Yes.
favorite?
Definitely the thriller horror genre
Thriller
is my
horror,
favorite.
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Which leads me into let's talk a little. Let's because I find your childhood very boring. I watched it. Not a lot really happening there.
No,
C
that
C student. It was you just right down just kept it even keel.
just nice and average.
Yes.
Average across the board.
Well,
Uneventful, some would say, but
right. If you don't set any expectations when you're a child, then you can't disappoint anybody.
you would think so.
Right. But there was disappointment. And that's the sad part is the bar was already so low and you still didn't manage to clear it.
So does that mean that I exceeded expectations then?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Yeah.
You
So
exceeded expectations at failing to meet expectations.
there you go. That's a thing, right?
I'd take the win.
Yeah.
So let's see, what do you have in the background here? There's um what's the yellow trench coat thing on your shelf?
Alf? Do you know who Alf is?
Yeah. Do I know who Alf is? A
Um,
fellow Gordon Shumway?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we go way back.
Nice.
Yeah. And what's next to
Little guy from his name's Sam. He's from
yeah,
the
Trick or
horror movie
Treat, Trick
Trick
or
or
Treat.
Treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Halloween movies, and I'm devastated there was never a sequel because I think being an anthology, they could have kept going with it. It was so well made.
Did you watch Trick or Treat?
Oh yes. I loved it so much. With the
Wow.
beautiful Anna Paquin
Yeah.
and others.
And other people were
Yes.
also in it. Yeah.
Yes. And I thought that was Sam, but I can't see if he's holding a jagged lollipop or not.
Mm, He's behind Elf's back right now. So
Okay.
you're yeah.
And what brand of printer is that? Is that an Epson, a
It
Xerox?
is an Epson.
It's an Epson. See,
Yeah.
I know my office supplies. If there's one thing I know, it's sin and office supplies.
And that covers everything, right? Doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's
What else
really
do you need at
yeah,
that
it's
point?
it's really all anybody needs to know. And with that, we'll conduct this interview. Thank you. Now let's get into the real reason you're here.
DuckTales.
Several months
Oh,
exactly. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Okay, that's a catchy ass tune.
it really is.
Oh, let's talk about shrapnel and avalanches.
Yes.
Yes. So I read this book. Um, it is a little genre, it has several different genres going on. I'm gonna let you know when I read it, I really didn't know what I was getting into. I did read the blurb and I was like, that's catchy. And it's really about a man who has hit rock bottom, and in a drunken stupor one day, he makes, I guess, a speech. Um, and that speech really resonates with a bunch of people. And he's rallying against the man and corporate America and corporate greed, and it strikes a chord with people, and it goes viral on the internet,
As
and
things do.
as things are wont to do. And the next thing you know, hell's a poppin', and there is a seedy subset of people who are there's some hangers on who want to ruffle some feathers just because they're bad people, but then there's also a bunch of average Joes who are just tired of the system being stacked against them. But things go off the rails, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, he's sort of
Unfortunately for our main character, Seth.
yeah,
Uh,
Seth loses the he sort of loses the thread, and he struggles with he does struggle with what's happening, um, but he's also leaning into it at the same time. He's a very complex guy, but he doesn't really know how to get out of this whirlwind that he's been thrust into, and sort of it's a monster. It's a monster of his own making, isn't it?
it really is.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. You can use that in a quote, and you can put Jeezy of Nazarene as the person who said it.
I don't think I won't do something like that.
I
Is that a
I
promise?
you can bank on it.
Okay.
Yes, that's a promise. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold back some nausea from the red hair.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
Um,
and the glasses. You would think with the unfortunate red hair that you would not even want to have glasses. That's another thing.
you want to know the real kicker is you can't tell from the camera, but I'm also under 6 foot tall. So really, I'm just
Wow.
Yeah, it's like just whatever you had left over.
I really just kind of botched it all around, and
You,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
guessing like it was a Friday afternoon and you were just trying to get through as many as
Yeah,
possible and call it a day.
It was closing
Yeah.
time, and there's one left on the assembly line, and I just threw it together. I would say you should get contacts, but I don't know that you would be able to get them in those tight eyes.
Do you wear contacts or are they naturally black and inky like that?
Oh, these are au naturel.
Nice.
Basically, they're black because I don't know if you've noticed, I don't have eyelids.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
notice that.
no eyelids. They fell
Huh.
off at some point after the resurrection.
The rest of you looks pretty good though.
Yeah, yeah. Except that the hair's a little wild.
Yeah.
It can't really control it. It's the mid-Atlantic humidity. So back to your book. Sorry,
No, no, you're fine.
I tend to get easily distracted when there is an anomaly in front of me.
Oh, I thought
So
it was just when we're talking about you, you kind of embrace it
that
and
too. I
yeah.
if there's one thing I like talking about, it's sin. If there's another one, it's me.
And
Shrapnel
office supplies.
and office supplies. Yes.
But shrapnel and avalanches.
So where were you when you came up with this idea, and why didn't anybody stop you?
It's because they couldn't stop me because I pieced a lot of it in my head, without telling people about it at first. So by the time I was telling people about it, it was too late.
Oh,
But
you
I,
had already, yeah, you had already committed to it.
yeah,
Got it. So, so were you just sitting around one day and you were like, I'm tired of corporate greed. I'm tired of my dead end job or whatever it is you do. I assume you have a job.
I do have a job.
And you
Yeah,
were like, oh, you have a day job on top of being an
yeah.
indie author?
Multi, I wouldn't say talented, but multi doing stuff.
Yeah,
Multi, yeah,
the day job is probably out of necessity because indie author doesn't really pay a lot of bills.
not so much. Not yet.
Not yet. You might
Um,
get there.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, read some more books. See what happens. Was this book written because there was things that you didn't like about the current state of the world, and you were like, I wish I could rally against it, but with my luck,
No, it
I
was
do it.
more, um, you would see things like, things happen online or in the world or in the news, and part of the part of the response is, how did we get this way, and how can people do things like that? And I just thought like it's pretty easy. I don't get how you wouldn't see the connection between the way kind of people are
Right, right.
feeling overlooked and then how they're angry.
And it turns out that there's a lot more angry people than Seth thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you
He didn't
once
think that what he was feeling would strike a chord with so many people because
right,
he
so it
felt so
is.
alone at the time.
Yep, and all it took was just one drunk rant, which just shows you that you should only do your ranting when sober. So that way you
That
can
is
make sure
true.
that there's no cell phones.
Yeah.
So he's an auto worker, and we already he's basically just hanging doors on cars, and something happens and he loses his job, and that's really what starts everything. So and
Well, there's
his relationship is in shambles. He's really at the bottom of the barrel, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back, which in my time was a regular occurrence. Camels' backs breaking.
you would think they'd be strong though, right?
Well, people overloaded them, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it was a common occurrence, and then we just had camel for dinner for days.
So a lot of meat on them?
Oh yeah, fatty meat. You could eat a whole camel. That whole hump is just fat. So when you cook it, it renders down. It's delicious. A little earthy, Delicious.
Nice. Never had it.
I'll send you some. Your family's probably going to be horrified when a dead camel shows up on your door, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we order stuff from Amazon a lot. We're always getting some kind of package.
Oh yeah,
So.
this will be, well, it's not going to be a package. It's literally going to be
Oh,
a
just
dead camel.
no shipping or anything. Just
Yeah, it's just
a
going to drop
camel.
out of the sky. Yes.
Oh, that's kind of
So
cool.
yeah, I'll let you know when it's going to happen so that you can clear the area. Nobody wants a camel to drop out of the sky on them.
I'll give the neighbors a heads up.
Yes, yes, it's for the best. So stuff goes viral. Things go really off the rails. So when you were writing this, did you have a clear idea from where it was going to start to where it was going to end and all the good stuff in between, as good writers do, or did you have no idea and just sort
No,
of?
I had no idea. I had pieces of things that I knew I wanted to happen throughout. There's a lot of characters in the book and different pockets of how people are operating. And I had kind of those individual stories that I knew that I wanted to tell, but then I knew at some point I'd have to figure out how to bring them all together in the end.
Yeah, because there was again there was multiple plot threads that had to be tied up, and I don't think a lesser author could have handled it as well as you did. This book was very well written, and let me tell you, as a reader of a lot of indie authors for this program, um,
I
yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you.
yes, it could have it easily could have been like a professionally traditionally published novel.
I appreciate that.
Yes, you're most welcome. So, um, this is obviously a lot of social commentary happening in this book. Are you big on social issues, or was that just the driving force to tell the story?
I'm, I'm not passionate about social issues, but I do pay a lot of attention to kind of what's going on, and I do. I'm not. I'm not out there fighting the fight or anything
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
But yeah,
You just enjoy sitting on the couch, watching the TV, and being like, "Oh, those dummies."
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like anything else. Easy to sit on the couch and just yell at the TV.
If I could do it all over again, that's what I would have done.
It's
This getting front and center thing doesn't work out well. People are going to
does
turn
the
on
just
you.
interviewing people on the internet counteract that then?
Um, who's to say?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. So this, in a roundabout way, some people obviously your book has been there's parallels drawn to it to the movie Falling Down. Some people have pointed that out because that's just a corporate America guy who just snaps one day and goes crazy. Um,
Yes.
it reminded me a little, not in the content, but in the in the just the general thread. There was a movie in the 80s called The Legend of Billie Jean. Did you ever see this movie?
I have not actually seen that movie.
Ah,
I
it's
know of the
the
movie, but I've never seen it.
yes, it has the beautiful Helen Slater in it, fresh from her role as Supergirl, and it has Christian Slater, no relation to Helen Slater, and they get framed for a crime, and then she cuts her hair and becomes this rebel, and she says fair is fair, and it goes crazy. And actually, it is probably one of the first instances of something going viral in the 80s.
That could happen?
Yes, because
Oh,
she recorded a video, she sent it to the news stations, and the news stations started playing it. It got picked up by major news networks, and the next thing you know, all over the United States, people are saying fair is fair.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it didn't go horribly off the rails like what happens in your book.
We find out.
Yeah, it's a road it's a road adventure, a little bit of maybe a light thriller.
You recommend
It
it
was good.
though?
It was good stuff. I where you can find. It's probably on streaming. I don't know where. I don't know where you'll be able to watch it. The Legend of
I'm
Billie
sure there's somewhere.
Jean. Yeah. Um. So you is there other stories in the Shrapnel and Avalanches universe brewing in your head, or is that one and done?
No, there is. I am brainstorming right now ideas for the second one. I know kind of what I would want to do with it. There's definitely plot. I didn't tie up all the plot lines, and
Right.
it ended on not really a cliffhanger, but more of an ambiguous type of note where if that was the end, I'd be happy with it. But if I
Right.
got to
Right.
write more, so
Well,
that's definitely going on.
the world that you built really lent itself to sequels, even if they're not like direct sequels. There's still a lot of things that happen that can have ripple effects. People who were in the I don't want to give too much. I don't want to say too much, but basically, you've built a world where there are countless stories that can be told simply because of how many people were involved and witnessed what was happening, because it went
Yeah,
viral. So that story could be over, it could not, but there's definitely people that can step in and step into his shoes and pick up the mantle and other things. It was
yeah.
how would you how would you describe Shrapnel and Avalanche's genre-wise? It's definitely a thriller, but I also found it darkly comic. Now, was that an intentional thing, or did I just laugh at it because of the writing?
That's probably a little bit of both. Um, Hopefully, some of the stuff that I intended to be funny was what you found funny.
Yeah, there was.
But I
It's the
I try to
situations.
market it as a satire, but I I also don't know if I just laugh at things that I shouldn't really be laughing at. So the more people that tell me that yes, it is funny in a satire, I'll market it more that way. But
Yes. Well, you have the
but
Jeezy seal of
I look at it
approval.
like a satire almost in the way of like um American Psycho or Fight
Yes,
Club.
it's
Um,
satirizing, but it's not like you have to pay attention to see it. Um,
right.
yes, but to me it was I mean it was obvious satire, but it's not like satire. It's more of just
Yeah.
it's a thread that runs through it, and you're like, oh yes, I see what he's doing. He's satirizing modern internet rage culture, toxic masculinities, all that stuff. There's a lot of things that you're skewering, and yes, I think it was deliberately humorous. The dark humor really came through.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of the cutaway stuff. Here's another throwback for you. But do you know you ever watch the show Daria? Like way
Did
back in the day on
did I
MTV?
watch Daria?
Yeah.
Yes. The
And then they
spinoff
had
from Beavis and Butthead. Mhm.
yeah, and then they had Six Sad World was like the show that they would watch, and it would be
Yes.
like cutaways of random like nonsense headlines. And that
Yes.
yeah, that some of the new stuff I had in there was that was the big inspiration for that. To where
I
it's
I
out
don't
there
think I
but
would have
not
recognized that, but I don't think I would have recognized that because it's been a long time since I watched Daria. I find it so. Were you brewing this story when Daria was still
no.
on? Was it the revival, or is it just something that stuck with you and you were like, I want to use this mechanic?
Pretty much just that. It just kind of stuck with me. And as I was writing it, I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of that. And I can lean into it a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I think everything that I write has some kind of, it'll be serious, like thriller subject matter, but also jokes and little points of levity put in there, which might say something more about me. But that's what I like.
So you enjoy humor? You like laughing?
I do enjoy humor. Do you enjoy humor?
I do. I think it's very important. I think the Bible didn't really display my sense of humor very well. I
It
think I
wasn't. I mean, it's a pretty thick book, so I feel like if there's an extended edition out there, they probably just cut out a lot of the jokes so
they
we can
did.
get real to the meaty part of it.
Yeah, I was like, one of my things was doing that thing with your hand to make it look like your thumb comes off. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, that
mean,
was I invented that.
you had a lot of meals, a lot of gathering. You know, you got to break the tension a little bit, and you know,
Yeah,
I assume that you started every meeting and every speech with a joke to kind of
yeah,
get
it's
the crowd
important.
on your
That's a
side.
yeah, you gotta rope them in. I started with this one joke. I was like, I'm the son of God, and it really took off.
Yeah, that
And
is
then
it's still out
crashed.
there.
Yeah, and then unfortunately it led to some unintended consequences. I had to stand trial. So basically, I'm just saying,
Wow.
be careful with your jokes. People might
So
people might get canceled now, but like I got legit canceled. They
yeah, you got that's like the ultimate version of getting canceled, isn't it?
It is, and it's like it was yeah, like everybody just turned on me. I was like
Yeah.
the second zero, like the second season of Heroes.
Did you
So
ever watch
yeah,
the third season?
did I what?
The third season of Heroes.
The revival?
I'm pretty sure there was a third season before the that's I don't know. We're
Well, if there
talking
was,
to other
I
people.
didn't make it that far because season two just so went so far off the rails.
We'll always have season one though.
Yes,
Season
and
one was great.
that's all that matters. It seems like they had that whole season planned out, and I heard that it was supposed to be an anthology, and the second season was going to be a completely different set of heroes. But the network nixed that, and they said bring back the core group, and then they had to find a way to make that work when the first season was a self-contained story.
And that's what happened with Halloween too. But people liked the second one, and then they turned down the third one. You know
Sorry if
that
you
Halloween was supposed to be an
Oh,
anthology.
yes, yes. So they after the third one, well, you see what happened in the third one,
Yeah,
which I actually enjoyed. That's a very enjoyable horror movie. It would have been different if it just didn't. They didn't call it Halloween 3.
they should have rebranded it.
Yeah, they could have just called it Season of the Witch.
I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, they used
Weren't I
this.
mean you could have intervened, right?
I could have, but I don't think John Carpenter listens to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll have to ask him. I'll visit him, or I'll call him home.
Don't do that.
Eh,
Just pop in, say hi.
okay, I'll do that. We've lost so many people this year that I don't. I think I'll just leave John Carpenter alone for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
leave him.
I mean he did sing the praises of the new Halloween trilogy, and yeah, the first one was fine, but Halloween
I
Kills and
just keep
Halloween, yeah,
going.
yeah. But let's talk a little bit more about you. What can you tell us? What you have coming down the pipe?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, sorry. What do you have like in the works?
Oh,
How far are you into your next story?
I am basically done with the second round of revisions for it's going to be called What Scratches Beneath the Surface.
Oh,
Yeah, it is another standalone. It has nothing to do with shrapnel and avalanches. It's about a
is it
boy who goes and spends
horror?
the night. It's a horror thriller.
Okay,
It's more horror than shrapnel and avalanches was.
okay.
And a boy goes and spends the night at his friend's house and just disappears in the middle of the night. And as you're reading and they're trying to find him, you don't know if it's a supernatural element or if something happened to him and he was taken. So
Wow. I'm already riveted.
nice. That's the
Yeah.
intent.
Yeah. So when will that be coming out? Do you have a planned release date? And I know being an indie author, you can, you're not
Yeah.
bound
Well,
by
so here's
anything.
the original planned release date was toward the end of this year, but that's definitely not going to happen.
Ah,
But I'm thinking March, it'll be ready, March-ish.
you got to make sure it's polished. You want to put out the best product possible. You don't want to just write it, give it the once over, and be like, good to go, and then off.
And ship it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's I'd rather hold on to it for longer and make sure that it's it's good before. I think that I did make that mistake with Shrapnel and Avalanches, as I was so excited for it to be done. I probably
yeah.
released it a month-ish too early. Then I had problems with Amazon, and I ended up
Oh,
putting out a different version of it because there were some mistakes that I didn't notice, even though I went through it a bunch of times.
that
I guess that would,
happens.
yeah, that would be my big suggestion toward people that are looking to publish independently is just take your time and make sure that you're ready to put it out. Don't get excited and just say it needs to come out now because you've been working on it for a
Yeah,
while.
I think it's good to also have somebody like I won't say alpha or beta readers, but somebody else in your corner who would be willing to read your stuff because you read your stuff over and 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 you think you caught everything, but your brain is really autocorrecting the mistakes because you wrote it, you know what you were trying to say, and
Yeah,
and then you miss that. So, like, do you have somebody in your corner that will read your stuff and let you know that, hey, buddy, I missed an error there, or this doesn't read
I do.
right, or oh, good.
Yep.
Well,
I have a few beta readers that definitely helped me out. Gave me some suggestions for Shrapnel and Avalanches. And then yeah, they definitely definitely helped me out.
oh, good. And how do you
And
find?
my wife's very supportive. Um, she's my first beta reader of the story I'm writing now.
Now, will she tell you if something sucks, or is she just too nice?
She will tell me if something sucks. She has
Oh,
no
good,
problem with
good,
that.
good.
Yeah.
Honesty in a relationship is important. You don't want to.
Yep.
You just don't want to take somebody's like. She could easily be like, Thomas, this is the best thing I've ever read. And then you would believe her because you took a vow before me.
Because why would she lie, right?
Right.
Yeah. But no, she won't be mean about it, but she will say, you know, this doesn't make sense, and you know, little things like that. I take notes, and yeah, she helps me out quite a bit.
Oh, good. That's important,
I
I
do know not
think.
everybody has that, so I appreciate
Yes. There are some people that don't that aren't married to your wife who
it.
who aren't
There's
getting that.
more than a
Yes,
couple that aren't.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're not getting that feedback. So I feel bad for them.
Ah, that's just mine. I'm not sure.
Can we talk about this wood sliding curtain behind you?
You can, yeah.
What
That
what's
is so this is to the attic, which I need to replace.
ah
Maybe when the next book comes out and we want to talk about that one, you'll see like a
oh,
sliding barn door there or something
right,
else.
a proper
Yeah,
door. Yes.
yeah,
That's looking a little 70s, 60s, 70s, my friend.
it is. And
Yeah.
we've lived here a while, and that was one of the first things we said we need to change that, and it's still there.
Yeah. So you can see that gap at the top. That's where the ghosts come out of.
Is that where? I was
Yes.
blocking all the vents at night, thinking it was the
Yeah,
vents in the
no,
floor.
it's that up there.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why you need a proper door so that those ghosts and demons can't get out.
okay. I will definitely get to that though.
Okay, good. I don't want anything to happen to you, and I don't want the book, mostly because I don't want the book to be delayed.
Yeah,
Once what scratches beneath the surface comes out, you can check out. I just want this next book.
that's fair.
Deal.
That's fair. But Also, if I didn't write any books, that might have been fixed. So,
Oh, well,
if I'm being honest, probably not. But it's good to say.
is it because of the money and how I haven't blessed you financially?
No, it's more of a me problem, if I had to be
Oh,
honest with
okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay. Because like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said, you could have had that taken care of, but it's just one of those projects that you were like, I would rather write than put up a sliding barn door.
Exactly.
Understood.
Wouldn't most people?
Yes. You think I was out there putting up walls? No, I was a freeloader. I lived in other people's homes and I traveled and I didn't have time to be putting up sliding barn doors and yeah.
I mean, really, even being born, you were a freeloader, right? It was just
Yeah, I was
a
born in a
barn.
barn, right? In a
Yeah,
well, they call it a manger, which was just a
it's a nice
barn.
way of saying it. But
Yes, it sounds better
there
than
were
were you
there
born in a
were
barn?
barn. They're not manger animals. It was barn animals,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, not a single one of those animals had mange. I don't know if that's where the word manger comes from. Probably not. I'm not
That sounds right.
English. Yeah, English. I'm not even speaking English right now. It's just that that's what you hear when people are watching this in a different country. They hear me in their language, which
So is
is
this
really
a thing, or is it
yeah. It's
a you
basically
thing?
no. It's a me thing. It's
Oh,
yeah. It's I
I thought
speak.
you were saying like you're using Google Translate or something for the world.
Oh no. Just my voice hits their ears and
Oh,
their language. What is going on in your room with this light? I don't know if you've seen it.
it's the
There.
ghosts. It's either the
It is the.
ghosts that I can't keep in the attic, or it is cars driving that you catch the reflection off the windshield from the window on by.
That's
One of
probably
the
what it
two.
is. Okay.
Hopefully.
Well, let me just do this real quick. Ghosts, leave that house.
I think it worked.
Yeah, it did. I don't see the lights anymore.
So now I don't got to fix that door.
Exactly.
See?
Who knew that that's all I had to say was ghosts, leave that house. Unclean
You could have done
spirits.
that.
Yeah,
You could have done that so long ago.
you didn't ask. I mean, you didn't ask now, but I
Uh,
figured, yeah, since I was on here, I would help you out. Are
I
you
appreciate
afraid that this interview with me is going to affect your career as an author?
I'm not afraid. If anything, it should be the interview that jumpstarts the entire
It should.
catapult into fame and fortune and me going into a downward spiral, right?
Exactly. You are,
If
let me just
that
like,
was the plan.
yes. And and I also know that in the near future, uh, you will take off, you will be popular and famous, and there'll be movie options, and then the heroin addiction.
Ooh, but
Yeah.
the fame comes first.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like
Oh.
heroin is a super expensive drug, but if I
No,
know
but
you, yes, if I know
there's people
you
that
and
don't get the fame and fortune, just the heroin addiction. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
yes.
So
But if
I mean,
I you have your priorities in order, you're gonna build up your
yeah.
life to a success, and then it's gonna spiral into a raging heroin addiction.
Is that am I still ginger at the time, or is it after I turn gray?
It sort of is the impetus for you turning gray.
Okay.
Yes. So eh,
Uh,
turns out you're not afraid of needles. That's the good part.
that's good to know.
Yeah. Do you have any tattoos? Have you ever had a needle jab into your arm over and over again with ink on it?
I do have a tattoo on my back, so I didn't have to watch them with the needle.
Oh,
It's
good.
pretty much Yeah, you look away and it just happens.
I
So
have
that's the one. That's the one to get if you are afraid of needles. Is get the tattoo on your back because then you don't have to watch.
what part is the least sensitive part of the back? Would you say like the shoulder area or smack dab in the middle or one of those tramp stamps?
I would say, did you say the least sensitive?
Yeah,
Probably the shoulder area, but I'm also not in the medical field at all.
yours
So
is
I
on
don't know. It's
the
just me speculating.
so yours is on the small of your back and it says tasty.
It says shrapnel and avalanches. I got it 15 years ago before I even thought about writing the book, and I only wrote the book to make the tattoo make sense. It's it's been a journey.
You got a tattoo. So
Yeah.
called and it says shrapnel and avalanches.
Yeah. And everybody was like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. It just sounded cool.
And you're
So I
like,
wrote the
you'll
book so I'd have a
see.
better answer. Yeah. Your voice
Wow,
changed.
that's
Are you okay? You speaking in tongues?
whoa. There. I don't know what I just said. I'm going to let you know tongues really aren't a thing.
What?
Yeah, they're not really a thing. That's just
Oh,
something that people came up with and said that it was an angelic language. And whenever I hear it, I just tune it out.
uh, probably for the best.
Yeah, it's pompous and it's arrogant, and I don't understand it. All I hear is it's like what is that? It sounds like yodeling.
It's not even catchy.
No, it's off key. There's no redeeming quality about it. And I wish people would stop doing it. Guys, stop talking in tongues. It is not really a gift that I gave you. It is something you misinterpreted. If you want to speak a different language, I don't know, try French or Ich pay Attenlay. Something. Your ghosts are back, by the way.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Do
worked for a
you
minute.
do you live on a very busy street, Thomas?
That's pretty busy. Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
it's a lot. Or it's people just using your driveway to turn around in.
No, it's them driving. I should have drawn the shades or something in hindsight.
What do you want people to
But
know? What do you want people to know about the journey to being an indie author? Like any advice you want to give people who are thinking about putting words to paper? And I probably shouldn't be asking you, but you are here.
I'm here and really they don't have to listen to me if they don't want to, right?
Right. But
But
go ahead and
I would
toss
say
some
that
cookies. Go ahead. Some
I would
cookies of
say that
knowledge. Don't toss your cookies. That would just be love.
I would be gracious enough to do it off camera though, if I were
Thank,
doing that.
thank you. That's all that I would
Yeah.
ask.
Um, but as you're writing, you're going to second guess yourself and wonder if what you're doing is any good. And it's supposed to suck for the longest time until you are able to go through it and make it good, basically.
Yes.
And that's one thing that even famous traditionally published authors will say too is your writing will suck until you keep making it better. But the important thing is just getting it down and letting it suck, and then you can fix it.
Right. So, and the key part again is fix it. You don't just write a
That
book.
is an important
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. I don't think the Bible would have been good if the very first draft was published. Sorry, my assistant um, is a little too close to me, so every now and then you can see his headset. And why he's wearing a headset, I don't know. Get back. So,
You good? It's kind of
yeah.
swaying a little bit. Okay.
So,
I
um,
forgot what we were talking about, to be honest.
I did too. It was
Oh,
probably the
the
advice. The advice.
first
Yes.
draft of the Bible was saying you needed punched up a little bit.
It was, yeah, we didn't. So the problem, The problem is there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
There
It
were
was,
a lot of people that contributed to that.
yeah, it was like the world's first anthology, and it really could have used some editing. Why did we let the same story be told 4 different times?
I don't know. Weren't you there to question it at all?
Eh, it's not
You
really
had
my
other things
job.
going on.
Yeah,
You
I
had
had
other things to do.
too much stuff. Too much stuff.
Yeah.
So
You're more of just like a producer of that than anything. Like you were there
yeah, I
overseeing,
kind
but
of
you had a lot of other jobs at the time too.
yeah, it was there was a lot going, teacher, carpenter, fishing, walking on water, killing fig trees, which let me tell you something. That is the genesis. Genesis. That is the genesis of the look, there's a lot of people out there who are misinterpreting my words. To the Westboro Baptist Church, I have to say this. It was God hates figs. God hates figs. Because I was walking, I was hungry, I came across a fig tree, and it refused to bear fruit, so I destroyed it. I said, may this fig tree never bear fruit again, and then it withered and died. God hates figs.
Vowels are tricky though, especially if it's being, you know,
Yeah,
they're tricky.
yeah.
So you're saying that you have a lot in common with Seth, then,
Yes.
right? Kind of what
Yes.
you were saying was misinterpreted. Some
Yes.
unruly types kind of used it to do whatever they wanted to do.
That is the exact
So so
parallel that I was
you're
making.
implying that Seth, that's the point you're trying to make, right? Is Seth
Uh,
is very Jesus
it's
like?
a cheesy analog. Really, what I was saying is, I think you stole my idea and you owe me money.
I will give you a piece of royalties if you like.
What am I going to do with 32 cents?
Invest. I think Bitcoin's about to jump.
Okay, well, I will definitely invest. It's very
Uh,
sage advice.
really, just everything should go into crypto, right? That's what the smart people are doing.
Sure, I would love to have money that I can't see, I can't handle, it's non-tangible. And there's so many different cryptos out there. There's Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever other coin. I don't understand all of it, but whatever. I guess it's a cashless
Yeah.
society and it removes the banks or something. Who knows? It seems very confusing, and also 1 Bitcoin doesn't equal 1 cent or $1. You have to do math now to figure out what your money is worth.
Yeah. And keep in mind that we were already talking about how I didn't fix that attic door. So maybe don't take financial advice from me.
Yes. If that's the takeaway from this conversation, then we should not be taking monetary financial advice from
Yeah.
Thomas Emry. Now, do your family and friends call you Thomas, or this is look, the interview's almost over, and I'm just asking this question now. Do you go by Tom or Thomas?
I go by Tom in my day-to-day life.
There you go.
But Tom, Thomas sounds
Thomas Emry is,
more professional.
yes. I am a little miffed that it's Emry and not Emery. It seems like there should be another vowel snuck in there somewhere. Another
Yeah.
E and
You
O, maybe.
can blame my family.
Hmm. And what is Emry? Is that English?
Emery, here's go peel back the curtain a little bit. Emery's actually my middle name. It's not even my last name. Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
that's where the pen name came
This
from.
has turned out to be one big lie.
Yeah. That's I was trying to keep that under wraps. I was trying to keep the ginger thing under wraps. You
I
you
I
are
am
quite the journalist.
I am I am the Barbara Walters
You got
of
to the
this
bottom of everything.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, taken care of. Yeah.
I was extremely guarded this whole time, and you still just pulled it out of me somehow.
Look, the power of Christ compels you. That's what I know.
But unfortunately, that's really the juicy secrets is the red hair and my last name is not Emry. That's
Well,
about it.
yeah. And that's really all the interesting things that you had going for you.
That was it.
Yeah,
Why do you think I pick up the heroin addiction soon?
exactly.
Yeah. You okay over
Excuse
there?
me. I had to mute. I had a cough.
Mm,
It's the air
feel
in
better?
here. Yeah. Who knows? The air in here is very dry. So,
I got a ghost just hanging out there now. Do you see that right in the middle?
yeah, that's what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody parked is what happened. And now it just looks like that the ceiling isn't painted all the way. It looks like there's like a brush stroke of like somebody took a paint roller, and just used a lightly like trying to cover up a defect with
Just
a
that
wrong
one
color.
spot.
Yes.
Uh, and now we're just looking at it, not even talking anymore. So
Who needs it? I was hypnotized. Is there anything are you looking to do any other projects? Are you is your book an audio book yet? Are you looking to make that happen? Is that something that
I'm looking to make an audiobook. I started going through the process of that and I had to put it on hold for a minute, but
because
here soon I'm gonna pick that back up.
you would rather spend your money on heroin?
Not yet. But I want to get in a decent place financially so that when I do pick that up, it's not just going to cripple my entire family.
Right.
You know,
Well,
it's
make sure that
I'm
there's
responsible.
yes, a responsible
Yeah.
heroin addict.
Yeah.
That's the best kind.
Yeah,
Is
the audio book I'm gonna start working on. Um, then I'm editing what scratches beneath the surface.
I
I've
love
got
that
ideas for
title.
a few more. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's what scratches beneath the surface. It's probably chiggers. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Those those things get
Can that be
they
part of the title too? Like in
I'm sorry,
parentheses
not
question mark?
chiggers, scabies. I'm sorry, scabies is what I meant. That gets under the surface
That'll
and
get you.
yeah, that's oh back in the desert there was all kinds of no-see-ums and stuff that would get you. And we would just sit there and itch and scratch, itching and a scratching.
Oh yeah. There's all the sand too on top of that, and
Yeah, there was sand everywhere in your
oh,
food. That area,
yeah.
yeah, just walk and chafe, and it was a very rough area to be in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland now, and it is much better than the desert.
Not as much sand.
Not as much sand unless I go to the shore. Then on the eastern shore there's sand, yes, and that is why I don't go. And because of all the damn tourists. Huh.
Yeah. It's probably pretty bad over there, isn't it? The
Um,
tourism, I mean.
yeah, there's a lot of people go down to the ocean. They go to Assateague, which is where the wild horses run. They go to Ocean City. Then we have of course like Fells Point and Baltimore City, where the Edgar Allan Poe where he died. Yeah, so and then there's
He died?
Edgar Allan Poe.
When did that happen?
I didn't real.
I thought
I'm
he has like a
sorry.
big Halloween celebration every year.
I didn't. I didn't. Well, this is embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
I didn't realize that I was interviewing a dum dum. And you would think again I would know, but I thought we were skating along, and then all of a sudden you break out the when did Edgar Allan Poe
I
die?
know. I tried to hide it.
Yeah, I really did you a disservice. I owe
I
you an
mean,
apology.
I've gotten this far.
I should definitely apologize to you. So, uh, I'm I'm
That's good
I
enough.
can't do it. I can't do it. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
It's implied. I get it.
Woo! Boy, it really
Yeah.
is hard to be a man and apologize. That must be what being married is like. Just
Very.
basic.
It's
Yes,
exactly like that.
yes. I imagine you have to apologize for a lot more when you're married, just for stupid stuff like I'm sorry that that the forks were placed in the dishwasher pointing time side up or down or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a lot of apologizing for things that you never thought you would apologize for. Like
But
the whole
you get
toilet
used to it.
seat. Yeah, the toilet seat thing, the not load. Who knew that there was a wrong way to load a dishwasher?
Or fold the towel.
Or fold a towel?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Or you put the socks in the wrong drawer.
I mean, if I would
Okay.
just pay attention though.
It's not your fault. I created women to be emotionally crazy.
So that
And
was the plan?
well, the plan was look, the plan really went off the rails with the whole Eve thing and her tempting and that's really when it went off the rails. That was the first woman who was telling a man that he didn't know what he was doing and that they should just eat the fruit. And of course he did it because of free will.
Yeah. So you take no accountability at all.
Hmm. No,
Okay.
yeah. Isn't that convenient?
It's very convenient.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, anyway, um, so you have you have what scratches beneath the surface coming out, and that again comes out. I hopefully in March.
March. Yeah. Should be March.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that. And if it's not out in March, let's just say I hope you have a life insurance policy.
That's fair. And that's why I said March, because I don't want to say any earlier and then have to push it out.
There you go.
March is safe.
March 2025 is not. It has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming March 2025. Can you believe it's
I'm
going to be
excited about it.
2025 already?
Not at all.
Huh,
Not at all.
that is some futuristic bull stuff that should have, we should have had a much more future science fiction.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it was fair that our expectation was everything they did in Back to the Future too.
right.
So that
They
that really
were
didn't help anything. That's where the bar was set.
right. Sorry. Um, well, it turns out that I don't have any more questions for you. Did you want to talk about anything else? Or have we covered everything
Uh,
that's interesting about you in this very short time?
we we covered it. I planned on the last 15 minutes of the interview talking about how I have red hair, but I covered that one early.
Yeah, I think that oh, oh, I got the cold sweats just looking at it.
That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this interview. Thomas Emry, it's been or Thomas Emry, whatever your last name is. It has been wonderful talking with you. You've been a great sport. Thank you for coming on the show. For the
Thank
viewers,
you.
what?
I'm sorry. I'll let you talk. I said thank you.
Oh, I thought you said thank you.
No,
I was about
no,
to,
no,
I was about to, right in the eye. Just give you one of, boom, just black one of those eyes. You
no.
said,
Thank you.
you are most welcome. Uh, we don't have any new episodes coming up for the next couple of weeks. We will return after a short sabbatical. So for right now, until October, you were the final guest. But then we will return with another episode or two, and then wrap out the season. But you, Thomas Emry, are taking us on a brief hiatus. So thank you. And tell people where what's your social media? Where can they find you?
Oh, I'm on Facebook mostly and TikTok. Thomas Emry for both. Uh, I'm
And
also
you're
on Instagram and Threads, but I don't use those as much.
and you have a sort of a bare bones website because nobody's really using full websites anymore. But it's
And I do have a website.
authorthomasemery.com. Yes,
Yeah.
authorthomasemery.com. Um, and yeah, so Thomas, I wish you great luck on the new book that's coming out and all your future projects. And hopefully we'll talk again soon. And
Yeah,
hopefully,
absolutely.
yeah, and hopefully by the time that you visit us again, that hair will have turned gray and I won't have to look at it.
I'll have a new book and the attic door will be fixed and I'll have a different hair color.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you again.
That's
Let me wrap it up. This is not the Thomas Emry show. That's it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Thomas. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you next time on the next episode of the Jeezy Reader. Bye.